You're good to go, Sheila.
Okay, good. So here we are again. Welcome aboard. Happy Tuesday. So let's sit up real tall. And if the knees need to bend, let them bend. But your goal is to keep the back straight. Okay. So we got this great bony tissue that sits underneath all that extra muscle in our tush, our nice, strong, muscular tushes. And you're going to try to bring the bony tissue down. So as you sit and your back stays straight, if you can straighten your legs, that's great. Okay. Shoulders, roll them back and then drop your arms behind you and keep your chest lifted. So while you're here, I want you to engage. So let's work on engaging and getting familiar with engaging your abdominals. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start right above the pubic bone, transverse abdominal muscle. So pull that in very tight. You can feel it. You can feel how it then radiates to different sides of the hip. Now go up to the belly button space and pull the belly in there. Now, when we do that, it has a tendency to lift our ribs and our chest because we're getting to the upper rectus abdominis where we're going to contract. So notice that it's not as hard to pull in the upper rectus because really, truly, there's not the same amount of, our anatomy is different. So I want you to think about this. See how you're completely exposed here? Belly is out, and get used to that. Don't be afraid of getting familiar with the way the belly and the ribs and everything else can move, okay? So in that position now, we're gonna just press open the chest wall, and then release. Inhale. The chest wall, and it's okay if your belly pops forward as you take your exhale. One more. Just expand and release it. Good. Okay, coming on up. We're just going to reach. Feel how the back starts to open up. You become comfortable on the mat. You can feel your hamstrings spreading, lengthening. It's a good thing. Okay. So while we're here, let's point and flex our toes. So we're pointing and flexing our toes. Now open your legs about as wide as your hip or as wide as your mat and start to circle your feet. So you're working the ankle space. Now reverse it. Okay, so before we even go back down, pull your feet together, open up your knees and feel your sits bones come nice and flat. So take your hands now and squeeze those toes together. Squeeze them together. Just squeeze them together like pancakes. Squeeze, squeeze. Give yourself the opportunity to feel your feet. They're a beautiful thing. Toes. Really open up. Okay. Slide ourselves to our back. You're going to lay flat. Your head can be rested on a ball. It can be rested on a towel, pillow, block, whatever you prefer. You might not prefer anything. So I want to make sure that when you're resting your head, you're drawing your chin towards your chest. You're not looking straight up to the ceiling. You're looking more towards where your wall and your ceiling meet, okay? So we're going to move the shoulders back and down. And when the back of the shoulder starts to touch the mat, we have a tendency to open the chest wall, but we also have a tendency to hyperextend the back. So your goal then is to work in that opposing space. So push your spine into the mat. Go from the very top of the spine all the way down to the tailbone. Keep it snug. Good. Lengthen your arms. Make them long. Okay, right leg to the ceiling, point and flex. Inhale, exhale. Now with the leg up, I want you to keep a point. Your knee is going to stay straight. You're going to lower. You're going to lift. Keeping that point. Lower. Your left leg still bent. Sliding through the air. You don't want to come up too high. You're not lifting your back off the mat. But you want a good range of motion here. Keeping that knee straight. Bring it up to the top. Let's flex the foot. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. Lower. Keep it flexed and lift. And hold the leg up. Now draw the knee in. Feel that quad rested on the rib cage. Drop this left leg long. Feel that length and feel like literally you're pointing that toe. So there's an oppositional perspective here. So oppositional pull, you can feel the length of that left leg and you're drawing this knee in and you're resting. So you're really getting a nice stretch, that groin space. Taking your left hand to the outside of your lower leg, releasing your right arm down, making sure your shoulder stays down. Draw that leg across. So you can take this slow with deep breaths. You can draw it over to a place where you're feeling really happy. Your goal, you know, is to keep that right shoulder down. You're going deeper and deeper down through, working back. So nice to wake up to. And release. Good. Both feet are flat. So the other side here. We're going to take the toe pointed, right knee is bent, just lower and lift. Just lower and lift. Keep the leg up to the ceiling. Flex the foot. You're keeping that knee straight. Joints are nice and long. Same thing. Lower and lift. Settle your body down into that mat. Trying to become very relaxed in that space where you are. One more. So take the hands behind the hamstring, drawing that knee in. Feel that stretch and releasing right now. Pointing the toe, creating that extension. Feel that oppositional right hand. Here's the tibia to the outside of that leg. Left arm is down. Draw across. So for me, I always like to use, because I can't be in the classroom with you, watching each of you, say with different impingements or different, body changes. For me, this left side is always harder to move too, based on, could be past injuries, it could be just something that my body's holding on to at this point. So think about it and really listen to your body. Back. Okay. So now we're going into tabletop. So your tabletop is going to have a flexed foot. Your head is nice and firm down. So the first thing I want you to do is draw your shoulder girdle back and then think about that spine. You got to pull in here. A lot of times what happens is when people put their feet up, they have a tendency to do this in their back. See how I'm going into a hyperextension, okay? You don't want to do that. So you want to make sure your spine is as tight as could be. Arms are long, you're grounded, come up with that tabletop, okay? So single Betany stretch. Left toe pointed towards where the ceiling and your wall meet. bring it back in. Right, in, left. So as I stay with this, I can throw in some options. I can lift my head, neck, and shoulders here. Okay. Keep going. Now take your feet flat. Okay, it's a good time to reevaluate your spine and your abdominals and obliques. So let's go through this again. Lower rectus, pull it in. Right at the belly button space, pull that in. Upper rectus, pull it down and in. Obliques are going to be tight. If I go to touch them, they're going to be tight because you're contracting. Okay, spine is long. So we're going back up to that tabletop. We're going to add some arms here in our single Betany stretch. So I'm going to lift my head, neck, and shoulders. I'm going to release my right arm, bring it back. Left, bring it back. One more left. And head way down. That just means one more left on the left side. Okay. So we're going to move into a little bit more stretching before we go into a double leg stretch. So your feet are flat, arms are long, shoulders are back and down. I'm going to bring back that reminder that imagine there is a connection to a seat belt here on the mat. You've got to bring it up. It's got to go across your lower rectus abdominis, and it's holding you firm, okay? So that every time you want to move, you're not going to move the hips. So let's try, take our fingers, put them on your hip bones, just as that reminder. Take your knees and take them to the right side. Inhale, exhale, center. Inhale, left. So how about it? How interesting that you're from side to side it changes. That's what makes us human. Nothing's perfect, especially on either side. We do strive for balance. You want to have a balance of strength on each side of your body. That's what's going to create a more safe environment for you. So if you know you're weak on one side, really concentrate on working that side, maybe even a little bit harder. Okay, so your back is down again. So let's go into our double leg. So up into a tabletop. I'm going to go into my nod and bow. So I'm going to take both legs out. So what they're doing is, remember, they're coming up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. So I'm just taking my arms up. You can also take them up and circle. I recommend you just keep them up and over. Draw it in, keep your knees here, rest your head. All right, feel your back. It's rolling this. That's nice, feels nice. Okay. So the left foot's going down, the right foot is dropping onto, here's the patella, we're above it, always above it. Now just lift your left leg, hold it there. Okay, so feel yourself through this because these are all stretches you're going to incorporate into your day all week long, right? I know you are. Hands between, holding on here. So you have an option. You can lift the head weight, you can pull the leg in, you can lift the head weight, you can leave the leg there, you can leave the head down, you can pull in, take the right elbow to the inside of that right thigh. Lots of good stretching here. Okay, change sides. Come up. So notice the difference too. So I'm going to lift my head. I'm going to take my left elbow in. And as I feel my knee coming forward, my left knee is going out because of the pressure of my arm and elbow. Going right into my piriformis. Wow, I can feel that. It feels great. And release. Okay, let's move ourselves into a seated position and then we'll go back. We'll go onto our back again. So you're going to come up. If you can roll, let's try a roll. If you can't roll because of osteoporosis, then you're going to not do that, right? You're going to move right to left and come up. But I'm going to roll up right now with my legs crossed, but I want to use the power of my body. I don't want to rock to the place where I pull myself out of alignment. So neither do you. So my hands are going to be here. I'm going to come into that boat pose and I'm going to roll. Keep my chin tucked. I'm going to roll. Coming up and staying here. Good. So we're going to practice those rolls. If you can roll. If you can't roll, you can always do stretches in a seated position. So there's always a modification. So let's take ourselves into that sweet looking, boat pose. So we're up here and you're rested on that tailbone. You can feel that, right? Now, I don't want to be here. I want to be lifted, shoulders down, chest exposed. If my legs are open, that's fine. You can keep them open. Now I want to roll onto my lower lumbar and then to behind my shoulders. So rolling down and up. When I come up to the top, I'm stopping myself. That's where the strength also comes in. But never let your head just go flying back. One more. Good. Cross it over. Okay. So because I'm interested in taking it just a little bit farther today, we're going to do the same movement, but you're going to add what they call a teaser leg. We're not doing a teaser. We're going to do a teaser leg. Why? Why not? Let's throw it in there. So a teaser leg would mean that when you come back and you lift up to the very top, your legs are going to be up here. Okay. So let's do our roll again. So we're in a lifted position, right? Back is straight. I'm going to slowly drop down. As I come up, I'm going to straighten my legs. Pull them in. Teaser leg. Let's open the legs wider. Teaser leg. I know it's not called a teaser leg, but I do call it that. Okay. Feet are flat. Good. So let's do our spine stretches. So my ball, my friendly little ball, you're going to keep that behind you, right here in the lower back. It's snug. Shoulders are down. Your head is lifted long. So what's the reason for doing a lot of this? Well, I'll tell you, the first is forward head syndrome, which unfortunately a very high number of population of people have it. And that is simply this. Okay. What happens? This weakness through here, especially. And then what happens is the head comes forward. That deviation can really cause serious problems throughout as we get older, it really can. So your goal is to always think about keeping the ribs lifted and keeping the back long so that the head and neck stay in alignment. So we're here, arms out. All we're going to do is drop the lower back onto that ball. So I have just my lower lumbar. And then I'm going to pull myself up sitting tall, right? So I'm using all of my obliques, all of my abdominals. My arms aren't up here, they're down, shoulders are plugged. So roll it back and then roll it up. I'm not going off of my lumbar. I'm staying just on my lower back. Inhale, exhale. Good. Good. Keeping those arms plugged. All right, so come all the way up. Good. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add to that. You're just going to take yourself farther back. Okay, so that means sitting tall, arms out, shoulders plugged. See how my spine, I'm not here in a rounded position. I'm opening up my chest wall, my ribs, all of my ribs, as well as my back, my traps and lats are all pulling down. So I'm going to drop into the lower lumbar. Then I'm going to roll back, open my arms, close them, come up. Now let's add the spine stretch forward. So just add it. Feel that teeny little movement, or make it a teeny little movement so that you can gradually go into it. Open. So notice I'm trying to keep my chin towards my chest because I don't want my head back behind me. I'm not putting any stress on my neck, my levators or scalenes. I want to keep everything in alignment and safe. Up, up, up. Reach, reach, reach. So see how the opposition here. Belly is in, length is coming here. Oh, you didn't know your body could move like this, huh? Feels so good. Roll back. Up, up, up. And reach. And last one. Come down. Up, up, up. Now spine stretch it. Reach your fingers and then take your fingers down to the floor in the spine stretch position. So hold it. Gives your body the opportunity as you flex forward, feel that opposition here, right? The abdominals are staying down and in, but the upper body, you're not lifting your shoulders up. You are rounding your back. That's absolute. And then come out of it. Okay. So keeping the ball there, we're going to take this right hand. So the arms are beside us. So we're going to twist first in the left direction. So we're going to break this down a little bit differently. Okay. So as we rotate our body to the left side, my hands are both going to be down to the mat. So the mat behind me, the mat in front of me. So my feet are going to be flexed or point. It's up to you because I'm creating length here, all the way up and all the way down. So with my fingers down, I'm going to walk this right hand forward. See how I'm staying in touch with the floor? And I'm taking it as far as I can. So yes, I am reaching. Yes, I am flexing forward, but I'm not dropping my chest. It's still open onto the left side. Walk it back. I just want you to feel a way through this. So I'm going to twist in the other direction. Both hands are down. Chest is lifted. You feel length through here. Now, as I hinge forward, I'm going to walk this. My other hand behind me lifts, but I'm going to walk this left hand down. But notice that I'm not collapsing. Okay. Now come out of it. Good. Same thing. We're going to twist. Keep that chest lifted. Hands down. Again, walk it forward. The chest open. And come back. And the other direction. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hands down and walk. And come back. Good. Okay, so we got a little bit of a rotation, holding a rotation, okay? So obliques could really feel into this space. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of a twist. So shoulders are back and down. So I'm gonna have us take our hands in that genie look, okay? In memory of Barbara Eden. We're gonna take our arms here, shoulders are plugged. Let's twist to one direction. So as we twist here, we are going to reach the arms up. So you're twisted, reach the arms up, bring them back to that genie look and forward. Twist, reach the arms up, bring them back down, twist to the center. Yes, this is tough on the quads. You feel trying to keep yourself rooted. One more. Just doing these are just precursors before you go into the other part of the movement. Okay, so now arms are down, shoulders are back. We're going to twist. Twist as deep as you can. Left hand behind, right arm, bring it over as deep as you can. So into your saw, you're going to reach this right finger to the outside of your left foot. You're going to saw 2, 3. Now notice I'm not dropping my chest or my abdominals, and I'm coming out. And saw 2, 3. Come up. Good. One more in this direction. Come up. Good. Shake it out, shake it out. Okay, so I would like to stay in a rotation right now. I would like to still continue to work more of a rotation. So we're going to try something where we're rotating, but we're doing more of a stretch too. So you're seated long, your mat is to the side of you. You're going to take one leg in and one leg out, okay? So you have an opening here. If this is impossible because of a knee, you can always go here. You don't have to bend that knee, okay? But I want you to work on staying on your sits bones because we have a tendency, because we have a shortness here, right? We have a shortness here and or shortness back here, which pulls on here. So your goal is to feel those sits bones coming down without coming out of alignment. So you want to stay strong and tall. You're facing front. That leg is out. The farther the leg goes out, the deeper into the groin space you're going to be working. So if this leg is more forward, it's going to change the movement a little, but that's okay. Go for whatever works for you. So I can feel those sits bones. My shoulders are back and down. I'm going to rotate towards this long leg. So I'm going to move my body into that rotation. I can feel my obliques, and I'm going to reach, and I'm going to reach, and I'm going to reach, and then I'm going to drop my hands, and I'm going to walk it, and I'm going to stop. And each time I'm going to breathe. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to walk it a little more. Each time, breathe. Feel that left leg. You want to keep that flex to it. I'm feeling this right at the very top of my iliac. And come back. Very good. Sometimes it's just getting into the movement that's the hardest. So my right leg's going to go long. My left leg's going to come in. And for all of us, there's always a change from side to side. I always say that's God's way of keeping us human. We're not perfect. So feel the sits bones deep, deep down. That's good. Straight back, right? So we're going to twist. You're going to feel the twist through here, right? My leg is long, and I'm going to first reach out. Then I'm going to drop my fingers. Then I'm going to inhale, walk it a little bit. Exhale. Inhale, walk it a little. Exhale. Inhale, walk it a little. Exhale. Oh, boy, I can feel that on the back right through here. Feels so good, doesn't it? Okay. So let's try all fours. So everybody up on all fours, hands, knees. All righty. So we're on all fours. We are going to keep our knees together here, okay? So what I want to do is we work our feet before, we're going to work our feet again. Toes, flex. So when we're not together, I think one of the things that's real important is if you're watching TV or you're talking to your significant other or you're doing something where you're in a seated position. I like to do it with my grandkids because they get a kick out of it. Just play with your toes and your feet. Really massage them. My grandkids always say, Grammy, let's play with our feet. Well, it's nothing they remember me. At least they remember I took care of their feet, right? So legs are long. You're going to be in that tabletop. Now I want you to pull that belly button up and let your body come into that curved flexion. Keep it flat. And then tailbone up. Feel your chest expand, but don't lift your head up where you feel like you're pinching the back of your upper neck. Again. Use your breath. Inhale, exhale. Sometimes just expanding at the chest space is so good. Good. So flat back. We're going to open the knees. Then we're going to tuck our toes in here. Now we have an option. We can just take it back, sit on our heels. Feel the feet open up because you're sitting against your heels. Or if this is uncomfortable to the knees, you can flatten your feet, okay? It's up to you. But for me right now, I'm going to keep a flat back. I'm not going to go up into my curved spine. I'm going to keep a flat back and come into my heel space. Feel a stretch. Got it. One more time. This is really good for your foot area, your ankle space, your back behind your shoulders and arms. And release. Good. Now, let's go into a true child's pose. So my knees are apart. I'm going to bring my feet together. I'm going to let my feet be flat. And I'm going to pull up my belly space. And I'm going to move myself back towards my heels as my arms are extended long. So do you have to be here? No, you don't. You could actually be here, crossing your hands and resting your head on your arms. So we're going to bring our arms out again. So for those of you who want to take yourself a little bit farther, working behind your shoulder girdle, we're going to take this right hand and we're going to walk it over to the left. Breathe into it. It's just a shoulder, upper back, trap work. And to the other side, walk it over. And it's the holding that you can really feel that open up. All right, on your belly space. So, dare we try to do a plank? Why not? Let's try it, okay? So, we're going to take the ball and we're going to place it above our pubic bone and right about the space of where your belly button is. Your elbows are tucked in. Your toes are tucked in, okay? So now you're planking. We might not look like we're planking, but we're planking because our hips are off the floor. So in order not to throw this into your neck space, got to really think about that because a lot of times people go like this, okay? You've got to be pushed off your arms and engaging the clavicle and the upper back, okay? Now, straighten your legs and lift off the ball, rest. on the ball, but don't drop your knees. Lift, rest, lift, rest, lift. Okay, so let's kind of mix this up. Try to work a little bit deeper on this plank. So it's options. Remember, there's always options here. You don't ever have to do what I'm saying or what I'm doing. Okay, you have to think about what your body needs and where you are. So don't ever feel intimidated by your neighbor. You can't see him right now, so lucky you, right? Shoulders are plugged. You're going to lift off again. Now, lift one foot, release it. Lift the other, release it, come back down onto the hip, and then drop the knee. So I'm always bringing you back to your knee down, okay? So shoulders are plugged, straighten the knees, lift the hip, lift the one leg, lift the other leg, down to the hip, drop. Should we try one more? Yeah, I think so. Let's try it again. Lift the legs, and here you go. There we go. All righty, so open those legs up, let the feet release. You want to stay on the ball and drop your ribs and drop your chest? Go for it. If it induces you to hit the ladies' room, well, at least we know it's working, right? Okay. All the way down. So we're on the chest. We're going to take our fingers. We're going to drop our head weight onto our hands. Now, when we do that, you still have to keep your shoulders plugged. So I don't want you to be up real tight. Let's do this. Let's get our arms long. Move one hand to the mat. Move the other hand to the mat, then drop the head. Because at least you know your shoulders are plugged. We're going to pull our knees together. Feels good. Now, your lifting, if you notice, I lift my one side, exposing that left hip, lift the other and expose the right hip, because really what I'm trying to do is wiggle things around to make sure we fit onto that mat comfortably. Okay, so left leg up, prone hip, and right leg, prone hip, left and right. Alrighty, now come up on your elbows. So what we're going to do here, up on our elbows, is we're going to create more movement with that. So you're here. You're on the hands and you're in that extension. So now press a little bit higher and then drop to the elbow. Now, if that's uncomfortable for you in your lower lumbar, you're going to move your fingers forward. You're going to do the same thing. Feel how your tummy really expands here. Okay, drop that chest. Bring your hands behind you. Wow, you can really feel yourself nice and tight here. So my shoulders are lifted, but they're in alignment with my chest wall and my ribs and my arms. So I'm not letting them roll forward. And so neither should you. So lower body, let's pull them tight. Feet are glued together, inner thighs are glued together. So we're going to lift in that prone hip extension with our legs and release it. So we know how to do that one, right? So let's put it together with our upper body. So lifting the legs, now lifting the chest wall and drop. So can you do it together? Sure you can, but think about it, okay? So move into this first and that. Or if you've got it down, take them both up. So it's a length. Once again, that oppositional pull. Imagine your head is expanding away from your feet. Your feet are expanding away from your head. So you've got a long body. You're creating length.
Sheila, just letting you know it's 11:15.
Thank you very much. And down. So now you're going to take your arms beside you. You're going to open your knees as wide as possible. So when I say wide as possible, think about feeling the outside of your mat, okay? Bending your left leg. The goal here is to stretch through the hip flexor, right? Which is real important, around the knee space in the quadriceps. They get tight. And sometimes the hamstrings can start to grab on this. They can begin to say, I don't like this position. Stop. Got to listen to your body. So for me, I always try to lift my leg and lower it a couple of times so that my leg space is and my hip is down. Then I'm reaching for my ankle and I'm holding that. My opposite leg is straight and my arm is just rested on the floor. But I'm not letting my shoulders roll forward. Inhale, exhale. Slowly release. Good. Shoulders are still plugged. So my right side, the same thing. I'm lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering, bending my knee. Feel my quadricep snug to the floor. You can feel how your hip opens up. And I'm holding on to my ankle space. My left arm is down. My chest is on the mat. My head is off the mat. So I'm not asking you to pull this heel into your tush. Just hold on to the ankle. There's no movement here. It's moving already. You can feel your muscles reacting to this. Believe me, they have a mind of their own. They know what they're doing. They are an intelligent being. And release. Okay, so shoulders are up. You're going to lift your upper body here. We're going to bend at the knee, and then we're going to release the legs. So this movement goes like this. First, your chest is down. Your head is just floating over. I'm going to take our hands on our lower back. You're going to bend the knees in and point and flex and pulse for 1, 2. Release the legs long to the floor. Bring the body up. Release it down. Bend. Bend knees. Extend. One more. Good. Okay, hands down. Sorry, my ear fell out here. Okay. So we're going to turn onto our side. So I know normally we go into our weight work right now, but I think I'm going to add some other stuff into this from a perspective of lateral movement. So if you can, take your ball and let it rest. So it's not under your hip. It's like right here at the side of your rib cage so that your head weight can be down on your hand. It's resting. Okay. So you're right here. So I have a movement I'm working off of the side of my body. So my hip is down. I even feel a little bit like I'm rolling forward, but my hand is here for protection. This is my kickstand. It's keeping me supported. Okay. And think of your head as being long. Okay. So you're looking forward. Your legs are stacked, but we're going to bend this lower leg underneath just a tad so that you don't feel that pressure on that hip. So the left leg, we're going to flex the foot. We're going to lift it up. We're going to draw it forward and circle it down. Now bring that circle a little bit behind you and circle it. So keeping the foot flexed. That ball's good because your ribs can roll on it without being offended. Now keep the leg long, point the toe, bring it forward, around and back. So what's the good space to know if I go too high? Well, if I go too high, my knee's gonna bend or my back's gonna drop. So you don't want that. Keep it in this space here. One more. Good. Draw this knee in and let it drop right in front of you, okay? Here's your fist. We got those great knuckles. Let's work those knots in our tushy. If you have a hard roller, even if it's a half roller, you can sit on that and really get the knots out of there's knots in your tush. They're there, I guarantee. And let's take it to the other side. So my hip, I'm here. I'm up on my elbow first to know that I'm in a good place. Then I'm going to drop down. My leg underneath is going to be slightly bent. My leg on top is straight. So let's first do our flex circles. Inhale, exhale. So we're going to hold it. Now we're going to point. We're going to reverse it. One more. Take it up. Draw that knee in. Feel it drop in front. Take those knots with those knuckles of yours and rub it out. And release. Okay, let's finish off on our back. So with the ball behind you. You're gonna lie down. So I'm going to do some extension for back and hamstrings. So we're going to do a longer leg. So single leg straight single legs. Okay. So what we're going to do is first thing you're going to draw this knee in. Left leg's going to go straight and right leg's going to go up. So where is that happy place? Well, it ain't here. No bent knees. Keep the leg straight, point the toe. Okay. So if that's where you are on that side, you need to have it on the other side also. So you always want the left leg to stay straight too. So we're here in a scissor position. Now lift that left foot off the floor, holding on to the back of the leg. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. So you're going to take this left leg that's just right over the floor. You're going to change legs and you're going to be here. So let's think about the right leg. It's long, hands are here, knee is straight. Now, every time we bring our leg in, move your hands to your calf muscle. One more. Other side. Good. Knees in, head down. Okay, let's take those knees to the right. So this time we're going to have our feet apart and we're going to drop the knees. So right away, it changes everything. Back's going to lift, but your shoulders still stay down. Feel a nice stretch all the way through here in the hip flexor, down towards the quads. Now, the other side. I'm always working on keeping your back and shoulder down. One more. This side. And release. Okay, so let's finish out with a bridge. So usually I like to tell people to keep their head flat to the floor when you're doing a bridge, okay? Mainly because what you do is as you're bringing the weight up to the upper part of your back, below the scapula, more towards the middle traps, okay? You're not lifting up to that scapula, but it gives you the opportunity to keep the upper body longer and it doesn't offend your neck, okay? So arms are long. First and foremost, you can do this with closed legs or open legs. It's up to you. I'm going to come somewhere in between. Arms are down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have that pelvic tilt. So I'm pulling my belly in. Pubic bone is lifting up towards the ceiling and tailbone is lifting up and lower back is flat, right? So I feel that roll. So I'm expanding the lumbar. So I'm rolling off that. And I'm pressing into my body, arms included, to lift myself, and notice that your head and neck have to change. So when I come up here, I'm not coming up so high that my hips create a hyperextension, okay? You want to stay long. Inhale, slowly drop. So like that pearl necklace, each vertebra is a pearl on the necklace. Let it drop down, waistline, and then tailbone. And again. Pull out. Tilt the tailbone in, lift, 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 lift. Now, let's stay up here a second. Let's bring our arms up to the ceiling. So they're not overhead, they're just up to the ceiling. Wrap them around you and feel how you're exposing your spine, all the paraspinal muscles. You can feel that little back open up. Now lower with your arms there. Try it again. Back is down. Okay. Knees are going to come in. You're going to sit yourself up. Okay. I think we're finished for the day. It was great to see everybody. Thanks for coming today.